Thank you so much for stopping by for your monthly in-depth tarot forecast. This is for the month of September. I've broken the month down into 4 pretty much equal segments. The first segment is going to be September the 1st through the 8th. I just think that if we look at these a little bit more in depth, we get a better idea of how the energy is flowing through the month rather than just one overarching view. This allows us to have more of a heads up and to be more prepared for what's coming up. All right, so let's take a peek at what we have for you guys for the 1st through the 8th, Capricorns. Those of you who are not all that into watching somebody put the cards down or shuffle the cards, feel free to go ahead and scroll into where I start actually talking about what I see. I have no problems with that, but I do know that there are some people who really want to see that the cards are actually put down in front of them or in front of the camera. So that's why I'm leaving this in this video, but it's not necessarily it's not 100% necessary that you watch it just because it's here. That I leave up to you. Now, we are going to get started with this reading. The first thing that we have coming up has to do with your environment. Okay? Wa la 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 la. We've got some dramatic happening coming up in your environment here. It looks like there's somebody from your past who did betray you in the past, who's showing up in your environment now being September 1st through the 8th. And there is a major shakeup whenever they show up. So this is somebody who, they betrayed you in the past, they're showing back up now into your environment, and they're shaking things up. Maybe they're saying something to a person that you're dating now, or to a friend now, or if this is somebody from your past that is from a work environment, they could be saying something to your colleagues or to your boss now, or they could simply be saying something to you and you guys have a massive blowout. But this is definitely a big shakeup that comes in here whenever we see this. So the positive thing about this, because there is a positive here, and I'm not a candy coater, so those of you who've been watching me a while, I know you know that, but for you new people, I am not somebody to put candy coating on what I'm seeing. The positive thing about this is that whatever's being shaken up here by this old person showing back up who betrayed you in the past, this thing that's being shaken up didn't have a firm foundation to start with. And so what I'm really getting here is that this shakeup is going to happen sooner or later. It's just, it makes it a little easier that there's somebody that you're not happy about from the past showing up to make the shakeup, because then you have somebody to blame. You can say, oh, it's your fault, you were. But the thing is, this shakeup's going to happen sooner or later. They just kind of were the catalyst to make it happen during this time frame. And, you're going to have a choice here. Do you want to rebuild whatever this person tore down, or do you want to rebuild somewhere else, or with a different person, or in a different situation? So you want to set a really solid foundation somewhere. Do you want to set it in this old situation that this person came in and basically blew up? Or do you want to set a solid foundation somewhere else? Okay, you're given that choice during that time frame. And that all has to do with environment. La, da, 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 da. What is environment? I'm hearing some of you thinking. Environment, for purposes of my readings, my definition of environment is any place you have energy or effort invested. Now, for most of you, it's home. But it's not always home. You want to kind of keep your mind open to what that might be for you in this case. Okay, the next thing that I'm looking at for you guys right now is subconscious leanings. And when I say right now, or you have done, or whatever, I'm always talking about the time frame that we're looking at. So you always want to refer to the numbers in the corner for that, the dates in the corner. The only time that I'm not going to be referring to that time frame, no matter what tense I use in my communication to you, is if we're talking about something that's coming up in the future. And then I'll let you know, well, it looks like there's going to be a little delay there. And if I'm getting a hit on when I think that delay is going to end, I'll let you know. But I'll tell you, I'll be pretty straight with you about this is not during this time frame that it's actually going to happen, but we're starting to see some momentum building towards when it will. Okay, so for most times, what you're going to hear is going to be all about the time frame that's up in the corner there. That's why I put it there. La, da, 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 da. So subconscious leanings, you've got a lot of stress going on, and it has to do with work, and it has to do with this idea that you really feel like you're running out of ideas and inspiration about work. Maybe work is just boring you out of your mind. Or, maybe you have some kind of situation at work that you don't really know how to solve a problem there to make things move forward with a project. Or maybe you just don't feel like you have the energy to work anymore. But there's a lot of stress here coming up having to do with this idea around work where things are where you're not feeling a lot of energy or a lot of oomph when it comes to work. So that's really stressing you out. And your subconscious is really working on, that whole situation and what can be done about it. All right, next thing that I'm looking at talks about two different things. We're going to look at learning style first, and then we'll look at communication style. So learning style during this particular time frame has to do with two things. I think you're learning things about money, particularly about saving money, maybe even about how to save money for retirement or put money back for a vacation. But there's something you're learning about putting money back. You're making a plan. You're strategizing and learning about how you want to do that. The other thing that comes up as far as learning is there is some learning that has to do with stability and has to do with transformation. I think you may not feel like you've got as much ability going on as you want right now, Capricorns. And so you are looking at how can you transform your situation to bring in more stability for you. All right, let's look next at communication style, my dears. So we've got a couple of things happening with communication style. First of all, I think there is somebody who is at a distance from you that you're communicating with, probably electronically. Maybe snail mail, but probably excuse me, I've got the hiccups, probably electronically. And I think that with this person that's at a distance, or with this group of people that are at a distance, I think you're being very direct, very much to the point. This may be some type of business situation that you're talking to them about, but it's very much what you see is what you got. There's no misunderstanding what you're saying. You may even have some sharp words for them, but whatever you're saying to them, I don't think there's any misunderstandings there. I don't think there's any room for misunderstandings there. Okay? And then you have some other people in your life, or another person in your life who you're communicating with as well. And this person is somebody that, there's a lot of emotions for you tied up around this person. And I feel like you are feeling pretty secure in your emotions, but you are communicating your emotions to them. Okay? Da, 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 da. What are we going to look at next, Capricorn? Next, we're going to look at work. Work. So those of you who have been following me a while, you know I'm weird about work. Okay? So I see work as that thing that we do to make a difference in the community or to create an income. And I also see work as those things that we do to improve our own character for our own personal happiness. Okay? Happiness. Let's look at outside work first. This is interesting. So it looks to me like there are some things that are going on at work where situations are slowing down. Communication is coming in a little bit slower. People are having to really think about their decisions before they get back with you. And so the pace is really dramatically slower than what it has been. Now, that doesn't mean that you're moving slower than you have been. You've actually gotten some good ideas about things that you can move forward with. And I feel like you may have been waiting to hear about these things for a long time. And now that you've gotten the good news that you can move forward with them, I feel like you are definitely just jumping right into that. We've got a card that talks about really looking at problem solving and how to fix things, how to make things right, because until you can do that, you really can't move forward. This tells me you've figured out that kind of solution. You've got the go-ahead from somebody else. So even though things are really moving slow in one area of work, there's another area where I think there's a lot of momentum just kicking in, almost like a kickstart on a motorcycle, like, boom, we're starting with this now. And it's interesting because I think with the other area of work going slowly, that's what's allowing you to really put energy and effort into this other thing that you've been waiting to do. If things were still picked up fast, I'm not so sure you would be able to direct that energy in that way. All right, what are we looking at next? That part of your personality, which is being grown or expanded right now. Oh, babies. Babies. Okay, so you've been dealing with somebody who is fickle, flighty. And when I say you've been dealing with, I'm talking about September 1st through the 8th. Okay, like we talked about earlier. So you're dealing with somebody who is fickle or flighty, somebody who, I think this person is probably also dealing with some kind of depression, which is coloring how they see the world. It's also interfering with their problem-solving abilities. But besides the fact that they're depressed, they're also somebody who they don't want to commit to anything. Okay? This is somebody who they don't want to commit to anything because they're afraid that they'll get a better offer somewhere else, and then don't they look like jerks if they go to that better offer? So they would rather just not commit and wait and see what's the best offer whenever it comes time to do something. So you've been dealing with somebody like this that really doesn't want to commit. They're always afraid. They're always looking for something better. I mean, it doesn't matter how happy they are with whatever situation they're in. They're still always looking for something better. And I feel like this is a situation that is bringing you some heartache or some sadness. I think that you're seeing some real potential for you with this person. And this could be romantically, doesn't have to be, but could be. And I think that this person is, you know, like I said, they've always got their eye open for what's the new best thing. And so that isn't really working out because you would like their long-term best. And like I said, this can be romantically, but it also could be a business partner too. You could also be talking to somebody about getting into some kind of business deal, and you know, they're looking for the next new, and if there's something new that comes along that is better, then that person is not going to be trying to figure out how they can do a business deal with you and this other person. They're going to be just switching over. Okay, so whatever is happening, this person is fickle and flighty. They're also depressed, and that's coloring how they're dealing with things. They don't really have a lot of energy. They may be actually even sick. And there's a lot of heartache for you here with this situation, just because I think that you have some compassion for them because they're not really their normal sunshiny happy selves, but also because they're so fickle, and you're realizing, I think you're seeing that you just can't count on them. And so that's a real sadness for you at this particular time. And that's where you're growing or expanding, is in that realization that this person is basically a fair weather friend. Fair weather friend. All right, what are we looking at? We're looking at things that you stand for. There's something fishy going on in the family or in your tribe or in your home that is making you unhappy. You don't know exactly what is the fishy thing, but you know that you haven't been given all the information because things aren't making sense. So you have a fishy situation here. And even without being given all the information and knowing the truth, that's my air conditioner. I know it sounds like we're going to lift off in the NASA shuttle there, but it really is just my air conditioner. So sorry. So even though you don't know the actual truth in this situation, you're still unhappy. You're still unhappy about it. You know enough to know that this is not good. Okay? And this is what you're standing up for. Somebody may be saying to you, hey, what's your problem? What's wrong with you? You know? And you're saying, well, I've just got stuff on my mind. I haven't exactly gotten it figured out yet, but there's stuff on my mind. You know, and this involves the people that are important to me. This involves my tribe, my family, my home. And so, of course, I'm not happy. I probably won't be happy till I figure this thing out. All right, so that's what you're standing up for there. Now, how does this person that you are standing up to this, how does this person feel about you? They feel like you have to make a decision here. And you have to make a decision whether you want to decide that there's no future with this particular situation that has to do with home, family, tribe, or if you want to be patient and see what's coming up. Let the truth come up. They see you as being on that verge of making a decision there. Are they right? Are you about to make that decision? We don't know, but that's what they think you're doing. Let's see what else comes out here. We may see that decision even here in this time frame, possibly. Possibly. Not making any guarantees. I don't scan the cards ahead of time. I just look at them as I go. All right. Next thing we're looking at is the flex period during this time frame. This is just the flex period is kind of where things start to change direction for you, where you start to learn things and grow. What do we have? What do we have? What do we have? I think you're being very loyal in a situation. Actually, we have our answer right here. You're being very loyal in a situation because there is somebody that you really care about greatly. And so it's almost like, to me it comes up that this is a situation that honestly would be better off if it was done and over, but I think you're refusing to give up on this situation because of your feelings here. Even if you're carrying most of the load. What's going on at the same time? Oh, honeys. There is definitely some fighting happening at the same time that you're deciding to continue on and try to carry this forward by yourself because of your feelings. There's some fighting going on. It looks like you're given an opportunity. Is this the same or is this something else? Okay, so for some of you, this is going to be the same situation where you're still carrying the load and trying to make things work because of your feelings here. And for others of you, this is going to be a different situation. Spirit's telling me we've got about a 50-50 split here. So, there is a situation. Like I said, for some of you, it'll be the same. For others of you, it'll be different. And this is a situation where your marriage may be really coming off the tracks. Or if it's not your marriage, this could be some other type of partnership. Could be a romantic partnership, could be a business partnership, but it's not working. You guys are going in two completely different directions at this point, and there's a lot of fighting. There's a lot of fighting during this time frame, September 1st to 8th. And I feel like you guys have been given a gift of you know, trying to work this thing out, trying to make this happen, but there's just so much fighting. You guys, it's really apparent that you guys are going completely different directions here. And for some of you, it'll be the same as where you're trying to make it go forward anyway, picking up all the responsibility, being accountable, just doing whatever you can to make it go forward because of your feelings. For others of you, this is going to be a completely different situation. La, da, da, da. What else is going on at the same time? It's interesting here. In spite of the fighting, and in spite of trying to carry on something that you really, in the back of your mind, know is kind of dead, You have incredible self-esteem. I don't see situations like this very often where somebody still has incredible self-esteem. Usually this kind of beats a person down. So you still have incredible self-esteem. And I think that, is this you or is this somebody else? There is somebody coming to you that is making some kind of offer to you, like they want to move forward on something with you. Could be romantic, once again, could be business-wise, once again. And I think you're saying, you know what, I really can't say yay or nay on that offer right now. I need to take a break and really sort some things out first. And so I think you're stepping back from this offer. I think a lot of what you're sorting out has to do with those first two sections that we saw in your flex period. That you're really sorting out, okay, what's going on here? What's my next move? You know, I'm this one thing forward because of the feelings I have for this other person here. This other thing, you know, we got the chance to work things out and all we can do is fight. We're obviously going in the wrong direction. And now here I have this other offer. You know, I have to figure out what's going on with these two things, or at least one of these things. I have to figure out what's going on over here with this stuff that I either need to decide to move forward on or tie up loose ends on before I can tell somebody else, you know, yeah, I'll take you up on that offer. You know, whether it's an offer for a relationship or a business offer or whatever, you have to tie up whatever loose ends you have going on over here before you can take this. And so you're buying some time here. You're saying, you know what, give me some time to think about it and I'll get back to you. You need to take a break here. Okay, where do we see you at the end of this time frame? You're making preparations, Capricorn. You're really wanting to narrow down the field. You want to narrow down the choices that you have. You've been dealing with a lot of situations that are basically competing with each other, whether it's in romance or in business. There's definitely something that, you know, there's a lot of people competing for your attention and competing for, you know, your participation in their situations. And so you're preparing to really narrow that down, because to me it looks like, you know, a lot of people that would kind of go to their head and they would be happy that they had all this extra attention, whether it is professional or whether it would be personal. This is not what's going on with you, Capricorn. You're like, this is a headache. I don't like this. I like things to be a little bit more clear cut than this. I don't like to be going too many different directions all at once. And so you're preparing to narrow that down, and you're preparing to make a decision about what it is you want to focus on as you move forward. So that's where we see you at the end of this time frame. You're preparing to handle this situation and get it all under control. Good for you. Good for you. That's probably about the most capable reading that I've seen so far this month for anybody. And you guys are the 10th sign that I've read for so far. So really awesome. You guys are preparing to get everything under control. I'm going to leave it there, take a break, come back, and we'll look at the next time frame for September. Thanks for being here. Hello there, Capricorn. Welcome back. This time what we're looking at is September 9th through the 16th. I did start to shuffle a little bit before I turned the camera on, and we have cards that are just wanting to flop out everywhere, which is telling me that this week is going to be a little bit more chaotic. There's a first card that actually just fell instead of threw itself out. We're going to take that. So I think you're going to be kind of scattered. Your energy is going to be a little bit scattered this time, and it's not really a week. It's just a time frame. There's your second one that fell. We're going to take that. So lots going on. Lots going on, and there's a lot that you're thinking about and strategizing and putting all together, keeping a lot of different plates swinging in the air, floating through the air, juggling. All right, let's take a look at the rest of your cards. Let's get them all down now. Okie dokie smoky. Let's see what we've got. Capricorn's the 9th through the 16th, starting with your environment. What's going on? Now, last time frame that we did, there was this sense of betrayal that showed up in your environment in the past. I've still got this showing up in your environment again for this time frame, the 9th through the 16th. I feel like there's someone in your environment that is not treating you fairly or not treating you well. Basically, they're backstabbing you or betraying you in some way. But I think you're happy about it. Now, why do I think you're happy about it? It comes across to me that you're happy about it because this gives you a reason to say to this person, I'm done with trying to put energy or effort into whatever this is that we're working on together. It gives you a reason to say, because I feel like during the last time frame when this person showed up that had betrayed you from the past, I feel like you weren't happy to see them. And with this still showing up, this betrayal energy still showing up now around your environment, I don't think you're any happier to see them. There's some reason why you're tolerating them. And so when they're still in betrayal mode, and when you catch that, there's my air conditioner, I'm sorry guys. And when you catch that, you're actually happy. You're happy that you've caught that because, yeah, now you can say, I'm done. Either you're going on down the road or you're telling them, get on down the road, Jack, I'm done. All right. Let's look at your subconscious leanings here, Capricorns. Whew, okay, for some of you, it's not going to apply to everybody, of course, but for some of you, we're looking at a divorce. This is subconscious leanings looking at a divorce, and you've been holding off, you've been waiting. You've been waiting, trying to figure out what you're going to do here. And in your subconscious leanings, you're looking at, you know what, I'm not the person that this other person loves. I've been trying to hang in there because I felt like it was the right thing to do. But now I'm not really feeling like I'm being loyal because I'm not the person that this person loves. And so now I'm ready to move ahead with the divorce, even though I held on for a long time. Now, for those of you that this isn't about a divorce, this could be about a contract or an agreement. Doesn't even have to be in personal life. This could be a contract or an agreement that has to do with business. Either way, you've been holding on in some kind of contract or agreement, and now you're realizing that this other person is not really prioritizing you. And so you've been sort of wanting to come out of this contract or agreement. Now you're realizing, well, they're not really prioritizing me. I don't have to feel bad if I get away from this. And so your subconscious is working on that. What are we looking at next? Learning style and communication style. I think you are learning about how to set up a foundation for yourself, maybe as an independent person here. Separated from whatever this was that we just saw in your subconscious and in your environment. Whether this is personal, whether it's business. If it's business, this could be about how do I run my own business. If this is personal, this could be about how do I run my own home. I do think that somebody is coming to you and saying, hey, wait, let's give this another chance. Don't be so hasty. And, they're telling you, this time I'll put energy and effort into it too. It won't be just you. Okay. So this is news that's coming to you during the time frame from the 9th to the 16th. Things that you're learning is that this person would like to restart. And what they're saying is, I'll make it even. I'll focus on this. I'll make you the priority. So this is what you're learning. Do you believe it? I'm not so sure about that. But that's information that you're hearing and you're learning. Let's look at your communication style. This might tell us whether you believe it or not. I think you're telling somebody, you know what, I've been figuring out how I can do my own thing here, whether it's professionally or personally, and do quite well and be successful. And this just may have been the wake-up call that I needed to help me realize that I need to take care of myself. So your communication style is saying, I don't really need that restart. I don't really want that restart. I don't really feel like you're going to be handling things in some kind of reciprocal, even way in the relationship, whether it's business or romantic. I feel like you're going to be trying to breadcrumb me. And I'll pass. Thank you very much. That's what we've got going on for communication right there. Interesting. All right, next thing we're going to look at is work. You guys know I look at work in two ways, outer work and inner work. We'll start with outer. Ooh, this is interesting. Was that work before where we had that something was fishy? That was somewhere else. I think that was where you were being grown or expanded. So at work, what we have going on is there's a truth coming out that was sort of below the surface before. I feel like a lot of people did not know this truth, and now this truth has come out. I feel like when this truth comes out, it has you going backwards and redoing some kind of project or some kind of work from before. I think when these facts come out or this truth comes out, you realize, oh, that means, you know, that impacts that work that we did before. We need to update that. We need to make it reflect accurately what's really been going on. And I think once you go back and you update things, I think you realize that where you might have thought that this was a project that was a positive one as far as on the balance books, you may realize that there was actually a loss of money in this project now that you know the truth and now that you've gone back and refigured things. Let's look at inner work. I don't even remember if I looked at inner work for you guys last time. If I didn't, I apologize. What is inner work? I really think right now, those dates, right now, you are not really wanting to put any energy or effort into something new as far as inner work. I think you're going back over some lessons that you learned in the past, or maybe some lessons that you could have learned in the past and maybe they didn't stick. And I think you're going back over those. And you're reapplying the information that you learned from those lessons in your life. You're realizing that, you know what, I know that this is not leading in a good direction, or I know that if I do this, this will work out better. And so I think you're reapplying some lessons that you learned before that have kind of fallen off to the wayside. Maybe you learned them a long time ago and you just haven't been focusing on them lately. I think you're bringing those back and making those more of an active part of your life during this time frame. Now, where are you being grown and expanded at the moment? Ooh, what is this? What is this? Some of you may be completing some kind of energy training. Maybe you've been taking some kind of class about energy and the use of energy, or how energy works, or how to do a psychic reading or a tarot reading or read the runes, or how to do a mediumship reading or whatever. The options really are kind of endless here as to where that could be, but some kind of class about energy and understanding or the use of energy. And so I think you've completed some kind of learning there, actually. And now where you're growing or expanding is you're realizing that there's lots of ways for you to use this information in your own life. You know, you could make a career out of it. You could use this information to help you do other things that aren't so much related, that would give you the edge over other people who have not developed this skill. And I think you're really, now that you've gotten this developed, I think you're really looking at, where can I apply this in my everyday life? What are some useful applications for this information that I now have a firm grip on? So that's where you're growing or expanding right now. La da 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 da, la da da da. Next thing we're looking at are those things that you stand for. Oh, that's so good. Ah. So last time, I think you were standing for, no, where you were expanding was this broken heart situation. Now what you're standing for is that your broken heart is healing up. Yay. It looks to me like you've got a lot on your plate. You've got a lot that you're thinking about. You've got some options. And so with having this much going on, it's pretty hard to stay sad. And the other thing that you're doing is you're looking at your opportunities instead of looking at your disappointments. You're not even slowing down for a pity party. You don't have time to slow down for a pity party. You've got too much going on. So you're not allowing yourself to have that pity party, and you're allowing yourself, by not allowing yourself to have that pity party and to just kind of mope around in that woe is me energy, what you're doing is you're allowing yourself to move into that healing state much more quickly as you balance everything else out that's going on in your life. La da 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 da. How does the other person see you? This person that you've told, hey man, I'm healing, I'm too busy to slow down for a heartbreak. How do they see you? Oh, they feel like you're putting on a show. They feel like you are putting on a show. They don't feel like you're being truthful or honest about the idea that, okay, you know, I'm feeling much better. But they do see that you are starting something new. They do see that you're starting something new, but they don't think that you're being truthful. First of all, they don't think you're being truthful about the idea that you're starting something new. They also don't think you're being truthful about the idea that you're already emotionally feeling better than you were during our last time frame. And they're feeling like you're keeping secrets from them. You're not telling them the real deal. Okay. Let's look next at the flex period during this time frame. So this is where things start to take on a little bit of a different direction. Ha 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 ha. There is a situation that you're not feeling so positive about right now. And I feel like this is a situation where you were sort of taken advantage of or used or mistreated. And so you've got a little bit of anger, a little bit of resentment, a little bit of hurt going on here. But at this flex point, what we see happening is you're making plans to get over that. You're making plans to move on from that. You're not going to let those feelings dominate your life. Okay. At the same time, what's going on here? There's some kind of confusion for you. And for some of you, I feel like this may be confusion that has to do with a mature gentleman and a little person, meaning someone under 16 years old, physically. Probably much younger than that. But for some of you, maybe up to 16 or younger. I feel like there is somebody in your sphere of influence, this mature person, who really cares about this younger person. But I feel like that younger person is being really disrespectful of the older person, the more mature person. And I feel like they're really giving the more mature person a hard time. Okay? And I think that you are in confusion about this. As in, I don't think you know what to do about this. I don't think you know how to fix this. And for some of you, I feel like you're kind of throwing your hands up like, I didn't cause this. I don't think it should be on me to fix this. And I think you're wanting that more mature, some of you are wanting that more mature gentleman to fix this. But I have the sense here that, you know, Spirit's letting me in on the idea this more mature gentleman didn't cause this either. And if you want things to work out, you guys are going to have to work together on a solution. Because it's not really on this person to fix it either. Okay? All right, so what's going on at the same time? Ba-da-da-da-da. Ba-da-da-da. I feel like you're really letting your guard down towards somebody and you're doing a lot of communication. And you are letting bygones be bygones. You're letting somebody know that how much they disappointed you, but you're also letting them know that you have forgiven them. You're letting that be water under the bridge. And that may be a part of your plan about how to get over whatever this type of mistreatment was from the past that we saw here in the first spread on your flex time. La-da-da, la-da-da. Okay, let's move on to where we see you at the end of this time frame. Wow, we have 3 court cards. What's going on here? And you're Capricorn. None of these are you. All right, so let's see what's happening here. I feel like this has a lot to do with your family, actually. That's what I'm hearing from Spirit. So we have a family situation that you're witnessing towards the end of this time here. Yeah. So this could be mother, aunties, female siblings for a lot of you. If these are not literal females, then these are going to be males who are less aggressive in their personalities. You have a female here who is cutting out a couple of other females in the family. In other words, she's cutting off communication. She just doesn't want anything to do with them. You know, it's one of those situations, well, if that person's coming to this picnic, I'm not going to come to the family reunion picnic type of thing. So we have one person that is just cutting herself away from these other 2 females. One of the females that she's cutting away from is somebody who is feeling very depressed. They don't know what to do with this situation. I think that they like to laugh and joke with this person that's cutting them off. They enjoy their company. You know, and this is family. I mean, I feel like there's a bond here. But I feel like this woman does not know what to do with this situation where the other woman is cutting these two off. She just doesn't know. She doesn't have a clue. She's overwhelmed by the whole idea that it's even happening, to tell you the truth. And then the other lady who is being cut off is somebody who really cares greatly for the one who's cutting everybody off. Like, she just really loves this person. And I don't think that she's hid that. I think she's let that be just right up on her sleeve. But at the same time, I think that she's also very mature in her love for this person, in that she knows that if this person has decided that she's going to cut people off, then there's nothing that she can do about that except to love this person from a distance. So I feel like both of the people who've gotten cut off here feel helpless in this situation. Both of them, neither one of them feel like there's anything that can be done to fix this now that this has happened. But the one feels much more empowered than the other. The one who feels like, you know, she's depressed by the whole thing and she feels overwhelmed. She doesn't know what to do. She's completely unempowered here. And then we've got the one that still loves the person, but now she recognizes that she has to love from a distance if she's going to respect this person's wishes. And she feels, even though there's not really anything she can do unless she went against this person's wishes, which she's not going to do, she's too respectful to do that, she just feels more empowered. She's still letting her love flow towards that person without necessarily being in the same room or writing an email or a text or anything. She's not getting angry. She's not getting hurt. She's not stopping that flow of love to that person. And so that it's more of an energetic flow that's going on here than anything else, because the other person's cut her out. Like, maybe she can't even contact her. But definitely she's still keeping that love going. She's still letting her love flow from herself to the person who cut these other two off. And she comes across as feeling much more empowered. Even though they're both in the same situation, neither of them can do anything as far as in the tangible world. Just being able to send that love across makes her feel a lot less helpless, even if it's just coming across energetically. And where are you in all of this? You're actually not coming up in this spread at all. You're witnessing. You're witnessing this happen. And I think you may be actually communicating with all three of these females, maybe one of them more indirectly than the others. But I think that there's a lot of communication going on here towards you. So you're getting, you're getting this person's perspective, and this person's perspective. You're seeing where everybody's coming from here. I don't know if that actually puts you in a position to be a peacemaker or not. But it does have that potential, possibly, if you're even interested in that role. Okay? So that's what we've got for this time frame, Capricorn. Let me go ahead and wrap this up, take a break, and we'll come back and we'll look at your third time frame for September in a few minutes. Thanks for being here. Okay, Capricorns, here we are again. This time we're looking at September 17th through the 23rd. During this segment of the video, we're going to take a nice little peek at that. I don't have a bunch of cards flying out this time, so this is probably going to be a little bit of a calmer time frame for you guys. Let's see what comes out. Alrighty, let's start with your environment. Your environment is any place where you have energy or effort invested, usually home, but not always. does look like you have some kind of new opportunity in your environment right now, and you are making long-term plans towards that. Although I really have to say I'm not so sure that you're gung-ho about this idea here. You may not be too super thrilled about it, but you are making long-term plans to go ahead and take advantage of that opportunity. Take advantage in the best possible definition of that word. Some people have negative connotations with it. I don't think it necessarily is negative. Okay, next we're looking at subconscious leanings. Once again, we have stress coming up right in the center of this. All right, so we have this partnership, whether it's romantic or business or whatever. There is this partnership that is still showing up as just going off the track, where, you know, the two of you are just going in two different directions. And I think you're having a hard time with, with getting anywhere on what are supposed to be your common goals, because you're going in two different directions here, and you're really stressed out about it. And so your subconscious leanings are working around figuring out, okay, what am I going to do about this situation? What can I do about this situation? Okay, next we're looking at learning style and also communication style, Capricorns. La da 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 da, la da da da. There is definitely some truth coming towards you. I feel like for some of you, there is a truth that is right under your nose that you have not been able to look at or to see for a while. And it's like Spirit is really trying to help you see this. So when I say Spirit is really trying to help you see this, there could be a series of events that just sets you up to have whatever this is that you haven't really been facing just put right under your nose. Like unmistakably. All right? Yeah, I think Spirit is definitely conspiring for you to know this truth that you've been avoiding. And I feel like there's a lot of reasons why we can avoid the truth, but I feel like you actually facing this truth is going to help you move forward productively in a more healthy way, Capricorn. Otherwise, Spirit wouldn't be going to so much length to try to make this something that you can't deny. You know, you can't sweep the red flags under the carpet forever. Spirit's making sure that you can't. Okay? And then I think also, besides Spirit trying to make this just undeniable, you have somebody who is rushing towards you with this information, with this truth. I feel like this is somebody who's very protective. I don't think they knew about this truth before, even though it's been under your nose for a while. I think that they found out about it, and they're like, oh my God, I have to go tell Mr. or Ms. Capricorn. I can't let them keep living like this is not going on when it is. And so they're rushing in to tell you. I think that because they feel like this is an urgent thing that needs to be told to you, I think that you find it a little bit off-putting, their presentation on this. But I think it's the same truth that Spirit is trying to make undeniably in your face, to tell you the truth. I think it's the same. I think it's the same. And then as far as other things that are going on as far as learning style, I do think that you're learning some things through interacting with your family during this time frame, the 17th through the 23rd. And not necessarily the same things that I was just saying there, but other things. Things about yourself and things about them. I kind of get the impression that you may be taking some time off just to spend with your family and during this time frame. Maybe not the whole time frame, but part of it. Let's look at communication style. This is interesting. I think you may be doing a lot of reading. Usually I look at communication and I think of communication coming out of your mouth or from your hand or your typewriter or computer, I should say. But this time I feel like communication style could be that you're doing reading, looking through magazines, looking through books. once again, I'm getting this sort of relaxed, taking some time off type of picture. I do think that whatever it is you are communicating has to do with happiness, has to do with your feelings, and maybe even with passion. But as far as, I mean, the central theme here is that you're communicating by taking in these books. Books. That's interesting. I gotta say, in all the time that I've been doing general readings, I don't think I've ever seen that come up. Even in a specific reading, I've never seen that come up. And I went full time in 2013. I was reading before that. So it's a little time. Okay, next thing we're looking at is work. Work. You have had some kind of break from work, and now you're back picking up those responsibilities, keeping on moving forward with work. So yeah, maybe it was the first part of this time frame that you were actually taking some kind of break or on vacation, spending some time with your family, but now we see that you are coming back to work, picking up full responsibilities and accountabilities, and that, you know, things are pretty much status quo at work. I don't see a lot changing here. You're trying to climb out from under whatever piled up while you were gone, but I don't see a whole lot of changes happening there. Now, as far as inner work, for your inner work, I really think you're taking accountability for some of the changes that you know you should have made in the past, but you haven't made yet. And I don't think you're letting yourself off the hook on those changes anymore. I think you're putting them into action during this time frame. That's a pretty big deal. I mean, it forecasts pretty easy. It doesn't take long to say that, but what you're doing is a pretty big deal. All right, let's look next at that part of your personality, which is growing or expanding right now, Capricorn. That's interesting. It looks like you are spending some time alone during this time frame to sort of sort things out, sort out your priorities and your triggers, what makes you happy, what makes you sad. What is important to you? What do you want out of life? What do you want to put into life? And I think that this time of seclusion and thinking things over has actually brought you a lot of happiness, and I think that it was a big surprise to you that this brought you so much happiness and satisfaction. All right, next we're looking at those things that you stand for. What do we have here? Okay, Capricorns, I see you walking away from some kind of situation, and it's interesting because in walking away from the situation, you actually feel less left out than you used to. So this could have been a situation where somebody was isolating you from friends or from family members. They wanted you to spend all their time with them, or all your time working. And so as you're walking away from the situation, you're having more time. You're getting to be more involved in your tribe, your family, your friends, your community. And I think that you're walking away because you felt like the situation just was not very secure at all. And you really didn't want to put any more time and energy and effort into a situation that was not secure. Now, so that's what you're standing up for. Let's see how the person feels that asked you about this. Let's see how they feel about you. They see you as somebody who definitely is in touch with your emotions and very much in control of them. They feel like right now you're not happy with a lot of people in your life, maybe especially romantically, but it doesn't really even have to be that. But just you could be feeling pessimistic about people in general, and that may be what they're feeling like about you. But whatever it is that you're feeling about people or about romance, whatever, you're very in touch with your feelings. They see that much. And they feel like you may have your energy spread too much or your energy scattered too much. I almost feel like they have their feeling when they look at you is that you're doing a whole bunch of stuff to avoid or to not think about how pessimistic you're feeling about romance or about people in general. And I think they're a little worried that maybe your energy is a little bit too scattered there. All right. Next thing we're going to look at is the flex point during this time frame. Boy, this one's going by fast. Like the interpretations are coming in pretty easy. Easy to explain. Okay, flex point. Excuse me. This is the end of some kind of situation with somebody else where there had been an ongoing tension or argument or debate. And this is finally being put to rest. And this is with somebody who is very secure financially, secure materially. They're not worried about whether they've got enough or not. They've got plenty to make themselves happy. They're comfortable. And I feel like whatever this is where it's coming to an end, I just feel like this tension or this debate was something that really didn't help anybody move forward. This person or you or anybody in either one of your sphere of influence either. So the fact that it's come to an end is good, but there's nothing really to celebrate there with it being ended. There's no, it just means a bad thing is over. It doesn't mean a good thing has come in. You know what I mean? Like you want to celebrate when a good thing has come in. I don't see that. Now, but a bad thing is definitely over. Something that was causing tension is over. La da da da. At the same time, there is something going on with your young person that we saw in the last time frame. I think that he's still, there has been something that has happened with the idea of his level of respect. I remember in the last time frame we saw him being disrespectful to somebody else who was in your sphere of influence. I don't see him as necessarily still being any less disrespectful. I think he's still kind of got that insolent attitude going on. But this young man or this young lady, could be either one, is coming up with ideas about how things could be better. Like I said, I still think they're disrespectful. They're coming across to me as still being disrespectful when I look at these cards, but they are trying to make things better. And to me, the idea that they're trying to make things better tells me that they may not realize that they're coming across in such a disrespectful way. But they are trying to fix things where they feel like they kind of mess things up. That's really interesting. What's interesting to me is I don't see you or the other adult trying to fix things. I see this little one trying to fix things. And I don't feel like this little one understands why you think that they are being disrespectful. I think in their mind they're like, well, I'm just saying the truth. Why is that a problem? You're going to have your work cut out for you in understanding this little one, I think. Okay. What else is happening at the same time that this little one's trying to turn things around and make things right? And by the way, I think he's doing it successfully, he or she. Ooh. Maybe that's what the end of the tension is all about. And maybe that's why it doesn't feel like anybody really won anything, because he's still being disrespectful even though he's trying to fix things. I don't think he knows he's being disrespectful. What else is happening at the same time? Ba-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. You have somebody who is coming to you and telling you the truth about something that they didn't tell you before. And I don't think you were really aware of that this was actually happening, or that this was the truth. And I think that after they come to you and tell you the truth, I think that your opinion of them, even though they've come to you and confessed to you, I think your opinion of them does go down. I think you feel like, okay, well, thank you for telling me. Now I see your true colors. It's kind of how it comes across to me, like, oh, I don't know if I want to deal with you now. All right? So that's all flux point time frame. Then we're going to look at what's happening at the very end of this time frame. Where do we see you? You definitely have your boundaries up between you and another person or other persons. I feel like this could be happening one of two ways, Capricorns. I feel like you don't want to, like you actively, consciously do not want to partner up with somebody right now. So for some of you, you're in a strong partnership and that's not a problem. This would be more in the business area of your life. Or there could be somebody who wants to be your friend and you're just like, no way, Jose, I don't like hanging out with you. You know, I just don't even, we have nothing in common. Why would you want to be my friend? Okay. So it could be something like that if you're partnered up. For those of you who are not partnered up, this could be somebody who would like to be together with you in a big time way, and you're just like, no, 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 nay, nay, not happening. You're finding that your independence is something that you value a lot during this time frame, whether it's professionally independent or whether it is personally independent. And you're feeling like you're getting a lot done. You've got your mojo going on, and you don't want to distract yourself or be interrupted by somebody trying to create a partnership when you've got a good flow going right now. Okay? I kind of like that. Got a good flow going. That's a good thing. So that's the end of that time frame. I'm going to take a little break, come back. We'll look at the rest of the month. Thank you guys once again for being here. See you soon. All right, Capricorns, we are back again. This time we're going to look at September 24th through September 30th. See what kind of energies are coming up as overall themes in your life during that time. What's going on in your world? That's the question. What's going on in your world? I'll tell you what's going on in my world is I'm getting cold, so I'm going to let my hair down. Okay. I know it looks kind of scraggly. I didn't brush it, I just took it out of the pony. Alright, I think we're done shuffling here. It feels good. We're going to go ahead and put down your cards. Well, you've got some powerful cards starting out. Let's see how we end up here. Ba-da-da-da. Ba-da-da-da-da-da-da. Ba-da-da-da. Ba-da-da-da-da-da. All right, so let's start with your environment, Capricorns. That's going to be any place where you have energy or effort invested. Usually it's home. Sometimes it's other places. You want to have your mind kind of open as to where this may be. We have some really fantastic cards coming up for your environment, like better than anybody else's have been so far this month. I gotta tell you, this is fantastic. I do feel like in your environment, you have people around you who genuinely, I almost said generally, but genuinely care about you in your environment. And I think that you are really making things happen well in your environment, maybe even you and somebody else together, but definitely making some things happen, manifesting some things in your environment that you've been wanting. So this is awesome. I really feel like for some of you, this is talking about new furniture that you've been wanting, although that's pretty specific. I'm definitely not going to say that's for all of you, but definitely you've got somebody who cares that's around you, or maybe more than one somebody, and you guys are manifesting those things that you actually want in your environment. Woot woot, that's fantastic. What a great way to start this. Yay. Oh, yay. Oh my goodness, yes, yes, yes. Look at your subconscious leanings, guys. Before, I think the last 2 segments, we had stress come up in the middle of your subconscious leanings. Guess what? That same card is here now, but this time it's flipped over. You're not stressing out about things anymore. Actually, there is some kind of contract or commitment that is moving forward in a very positive direction for you. There's something that is a goal that is being reached, that is not only being reached because of your willpower and your energy and your efforts, but also because of somebody else that you're collaborating with. This could very easily be a marriage that is coming back on track. This could be a partnership that's coming back on track, like a romantic partnership. This could be a friendship coming back on track. This could be a contract with work that's coming back on track. It's something that you've been stressed out about. Now you're not stressed anymore. Now you're just relieved because everything is falling into place as far as this contract. This is a long-term contract or commitment. For some of you, it could be marriage, that things are going well now. For some of you, this is a work situation. But either way, oh my goodness, so good to see you're not stressing out about it anymore. Things are moving forward in a positive direction. You're actually feeling relief. Relief. So glad to see that for you, Capricorns. Yay! Okay, let's look at your learning style and your communication style during this particular time frame. You are learning some things through the Academy of Hard Knocks. Through life is showing up here. And you're also learning some things through Spirit. So maybe you're meditating or maybe you're praying and Spirit is showing you some answers to some things. You're just getting so much truth that's coming in here. You're getting so much truth. And I think that some of the truth that's coming in during this time frame really makes a difference. It cuts through some of the BS that was going on before. So, oh yeah. This is such a good reading. Okay. Okay, yay. Now, let's look at your communication style. Definitely coming through with the truth very quickly to those people who are around you. There is a certain amount of emotion in some of the communication that you're having. And I feel like for some of the communication that you're having, you're actually going to be in front of somebody in person for that communication. Let's see where coronavirus is in September, huh? All right, next thing that we're going to look at is work. We'll look at outside work first, or that work that we do to feel productive in the community. Ba-da-da-da, ba-da-da, ba-da-da, or how we make a living. What is happening here? I'm not really thrilled with your work. I've been almost ecstatic over the rest of your reading, but when it comes to work, I'm not seeing that you're being paid enough for what you're actually doing here, but I do see you continuing on with it, and you're continuing on with I think you're continuing on with whatever you're doing now because you're feeling like your only option is to go back to what you used to do or where you used to work, and you don't like that. You don't want to. And so that is keeping you continuing on where you are. All right, let's look at your inner work now. Ba-da, ba-da, ba-da-da, ba-da-da. You're feeling a little bit unbalanced emotionally during this time frame, Capricorns, and I feel like your inner work is all about understanding what could be causing that and taking action to help you, to help yourself be more objective in your perspective of things, basically. So it looks to me like you may be doing a little bit of triggering. If you need to be more objective, to me that says, okay, well, we're triggering a little bit. But I feel like you're getting it under control, right? Even during this time frame, I feel like you're already taking action to get it under control. But when I talk about triggering, so what do I mean? Because I can feel some of you asking me, what on earth is she talking about, this triggering thing? So I had somebody explain it to me like this one time, and it made a lot of sense to me. When you find yourself in a situation where you're reacting strongly to that situation, whether your reaction is positive or whether it's negative, you want to kind of evaluate whether your reaction is actually in proportion to the situation that you're reacting to. So if your reaction is much better than the situation warrants, or much worse than the situation warrants, then that's your first tip-off and your main tip-off that you're triggering, which just means that whatever the situation is that has you triggering is one that you're reacting to not only that situation, but that situation has brought up something from your past that you never got to heal from or really react to and be heard. And so it's it's reminding you of that, probably at a subconscious level, reminding you of that past incident, and maybe even multiple past incidents where you never really got to express how you felt about that situation in a healthy way. And so now this situation that you're in today is triggering all those things from the past, all those emotions from those incidents from the past to come up. And so now when those emotions come up, they're way bigger than this situation right here. Okay? So that's what I'm talking about when I'm saying triggering. It looks like you are realizing that there's something that has you triggered and you're working on getting that trigger deactivated so that you can respond in a more proportionate way to similar situations in the future. So that's your inner work. Alrighty, alrighty, alrighty. Let's look next. By the way, I'm proud of you for doing that inner work. A lot of people go through their lives and never even try that. Never even try to do inner work. Ba-bum-bum. Where are you growing and expanding? Oh, baby, baby. There is some kind of partnership that you are no longer participating in. And because you're no longer participating in that partnership, you are building up a friend network, a support network. And I think that this support network is somebody who helps you with bringing in financial resources. That's where you're growing or expanding right now. And I think that getting away from that partnership that you were in before is what actually allows you to have the time and the energy to set up this other support network that helps you bring in resources instead. All right. Moving on, what do you stand for, Capricorn? You definitely put up boundaries between yourself and somebody else, and you gave yourself time to think things over before you moved on away from them, before you moved away from all the drama and into something that's much more calm and peaceful. And I think somebody is saying to you, why are you changing things? And you're saying, well, because I took the time to really think about what I wanted and what I needed and where this was going. And I realized that this isn't aligned with me and I need to do something different. So I left. Now, how does this other person see you that you defended yourself to? They have some strong opinions about you, okay? Just put on your hard hat before I come out with these. Hard hat and safety belt. They do feel like that you have faced your fears and that you're walking away from a toxic situation. Whenever you get away from this drama that I'm seeing here, they feel like you're coming away from a toxic situation. And they feel like in coming away from this toxic situation, there is somebody that you cut off. Somebody that you were being very generous to, that you're no longer offering that generosity to. That's their view of you. And they also feel like this isn't the easiest thing for you to do. In fact, this is kind of hard on you. Even though you recognize that it's toxic, and even though it's almost like you've moved away from a situation and you went straight up no contact. And I think that that's been hard for you emotionally. I think that you were comfortable with whatever this toxic situation was. You know, I mean, what is that? Isn't there a song out that says you can get used to a certain kind of sadness? Something like that. This is kind of what that feels like to me. Like, you know, you were used to this certain type of abuse, or this certain type of sadness, or this certain type of walking on eggshells, or whatever it was in your particular situation. All of your situations are going to be different. You were used to that. And so you were able to look beyond some of that and see some good in the situation, and you're missing the good parts. I don't think you're missing the toxic parts at all, but I think you're missing the good parts here. Or at least that's what this person thinks. They think you're missing the good parts. You're basically telling them, look, I just detached a little bit. I took some time to really think things over, pray about this, find my solution. I've moved away from the drama. Now I just want calm and peace. They're seeing that, yes, you've released a toxic situation. Absolutely. Cut that toxic situation out of your life. But they're seeing that emotionally, it's not as simple as all that for you. That's how they're seeing it. They don't have to be right. That's just what it looks like to them from the outside looking in. All right. La da da da. La da da da. La da da da. Next, we're looking at the flex time during this particular time frame, the 24th to the 30th. See what happens during your flex time. This is kind of where things start to change direction during this time frame. You're really deciding that you have no plans of juggling something. I'm actually going to clarify this and see what kind of juggling we're talking about here. You have no plans of juggling time with friends and your reputation. I feel like this is your professional reputation. So it looks to me like you're really preparing to focus Mm-hmm. 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 This is interesting. This has to do with Custody issues for a lot of you. And I think what's going on here is for a lot of you, you are preparing to fight somebody in court so that you have full custody. I think you're really worried about a kid that is going to see their other parent, that they could be being damaged, and you have no plans of letting that happen. Now, that's not going to be true for all of you Capricorns. But there's definitely something going on that you don't want juggled around. And so you're making preparation to make sure that whatever this is does not get juggled back and forth and around. Okay? What's going on at the same time? There is something that you are starting up again, something that was on the back burner. That I think it feels to me like you always knew you would get back to it. You just never knew when. I think you are getting back to it, and I think that it's going very well. At the same time, I think you're keeping it on the down low as much as you can. You're not telling everybody about it just because it's going really well. This may be like a sideline business for some of you. Now, what else is happening at the same time? Okay, Capricorn, this is interesting. It looks to me like you have found somebody who you're having the beginnings of feelings for. So you're carrying a torch for them, or you've got a crush on them. And you feel like they may be the one. All right. Now, I'm a little concerned about this, Capricorn, because even if this isn't a situation where they're the one, if you already have a partner, this is still somebody that you care about a lot. Maybe not even in a romantic way, but you care about a lot. If you already have a partner. Where I'm concerned is that you're seeing this person as ideal, whether you're seeing them as an ideal business partner, ideal friend, ideal lover, whatever it is, you're seeing this person as ideal. The concern is that this person is highly depressed. They're not themselves. When you're looking at this person the way they are right now, that's not their normal personality. That's like a complete 180 out of their personality. Normally, they're very sunshiny, they're very outgoing, they like to travel, they like excitement, they like adventure. And right now, I feel like they're sort of closed up, they're sort of homebodies, they're not so positive and outgoing right now. So you're not meeting them, or you're not seeing them as they usually are. You're seeing like the unhealthy version of them. For some of you Capricorns, I think you're feeling like, well, I can fix that person. I can make that person happy. And that's what concerns me. For others of you, the part that concerns me is that you have no idea how different this person really is to what you're actually seeing them. And the fact that you are thinking that somebody who's completely depressed is ideal has me a little nervous for you. Do you have a track record of relationships that don't work out really well? Because this is kind of one of the things that we do when we have relationships that don't work out really well. We find somebody that we think we can fix, or we think we can help, or we think we can make happy. If you do have a track record of relationships like that, you might want to consider Reiki. Probably a pretty serious amount of Reiki to help you have improved relationships. All right, though, let's move on to how we see you at the end of the week. Oh. Okay. So by the time we get to the end of the week, you have spent some time alone thinking things over. Remember earlier, we kind of saw that you had spent some time praying or meditating or thinking things over. Well, this basically says that you've spent that time thinking things over. Now you're ready to come out and talk to people. Now you've figured out your priorities. Now you've deactivated a trigger. Now you're ready to come out and talk to people. You're actually ready to give somebody a second chance here, but I think you're making that second chance, you're putting a restriction on it. You're saying, I will give you a second chance if there are certain things that you change. And I think you're outlining those things very specifically. That's where we're seeing you at the end of this time frame. Okay? So that's what we have for you, Capricorn. That's what's coming up on the table anyway. Thank you very much for being here. I do appreciate it. I also appreciate all the thumbs ups on this video and all the shares to other people that it may be helpful for as well. On top of that, I do appreciate all of the private readings and private Reiki sessions that you guys send me. It is because of all of you guys' support at every single level that I am able to do what I do for my living, so thank you very much. Everybody have a fantastic month. If I don't see you in a private reading between now and the next video, then I'll just see you on the next video. Peace out.